You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are Road Rage. Jean-Paul, you and me are not pleased at all. We just witnessed Fight for the Fallen, and I think we all fell. We are defeated because this was not a good show. Not a good show. Really crappy main event with a crappy ending. The match was not even good, and I'm just disappointed. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. That's the thing. You know, you looked at the card and it was hyped up and it was a lot of good stuff, but it was all. If they do the right thing, it's a legit show. If they go, if they go left, it's legit. If they go right, it's probably going to be bullshit. Most of the time, they're like, "Oh, let's go this way instead of that way." So
yes, like it wasn't good. A lot of the matches that were supposed to be great were not great. The Lucha Bros with FTR was supposed to be like the slobber knocker, like Jim Rose will call it. It didn't live to the hype. And the Elite with Jurassic Express, I think it was decent. I think it was move-wise, execution, it was really great. At the end, we knew who was going to win, but family, we're going to be talking about the whole show like usual. Hey, don't forget to watch with John Paul Monday Night Raw. Even Monday Night Raw turned out to be a lot better.
Oh, I enjoyed watching Monday Night Raw more than this.
If Monday Night Raw is better than
and that's when you know something's bad.
Is giving us, And Lechampion will say, yeah, I win in like the demographics and everything like that. But like, buddy, like you keep losing in like the minds of the true wrestling fans. At least for me, you're going downhill. You're going in the wrong direction. So, that was not good. But thank you so very much for watching every single one of our content. Like I said, Jean-Paul has the go-home show for Stream Rules. We're going to have lots of coverage. We're going to have preview and predictions. We're going to be covering in Spanish, in English, whatever happens on Sunday. So, please check that out, family. Jean-Paul, let's start with a match that, there was a lot of controversy because a lot of people were saying, why Cody's fighting Sonny Kiss?
Yeah, I mean, people were saying, it's because of Sonny Kiss, you had people who were being prejudiced, whether it gets skin color or his, sexual orientation, anything like that. And I'm not going to judge someone from that. I'm going to judge them in the sense that it's like, you're mostly a tag team wrestler. You're mostly just on AEW Dark. And then you get, boom. It's not like, now, if this was just an episode of AEW Dynamite, which I'm sorry, it was. They try to be like, it's Fyter Fest. And I know they had the donations, and that's all great and fantastic. Yeah, Fight for the Fallen, I'm sorry. And, the donations, for everyone who's affected by COVID. So that's, great. And I applaud them for that. But this wasn't a pay-per-view. This wasn't a special event. But I don't know if Sonny Kiss, I don't know if Sonny Kiss deserves to have a title opportunity just yet. But, in the ring, I mean, Sonny Kiss isn't bad, athletic as all hell. And, I feel like is trying to get better and wants to keep, getting better and honing their craft. But, I mean, it's like, really, should this have been the match, though? I don't, that's up to debate.
Like for the event, for what, like a pay-per-view type event, I don't know if Sonny Kiss was the right opponent. Just because, like you said, like he hasn't won matches. To get me convinced, okay, he can challenge for the TNT Championship. He hasn't been in singles matches ever. This is probably the first time that we see him in the singles matches.
Exactly.
So that's kind of that's why you kind of wonder. It's like if we used to see him all the time as a singles competitor, I'll be like, yeah, sure. Because like you said, wrestling ability, in-ring ability, absolutely great. The guy knows how to do a lot of moves. Like he hit a lot of good stuff. But, the fact that, he's not a regular person on AEW, that's kind of like, why?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But they put out a good match. But in the end, we knew that Cody was not going to drop the title.
Yeah, now, it was kind of interesting because there was a story, Cody was just, whatever he was doing, maybe not taking it seriously, this and that. Arn was getting in his face, like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you bullshit? And I'm like, that's what I've been saying for the past how many months? Now, finally, Arn's understanding. But anyway. I thought maybe that was going to come to play in it and it was going to be something, maybe he is going to lose and they'll drop it to Sonny Kiss just because, to say screw you, all the haters. But, Crossroads done. So,
yeah, no, like you said, like he wasn't taken seriously. That's pretty much what happened. But in the end, Crossroads is not even, he didn't need two. He only needed one to put Sonny Kiss away. Like you said, and even like match quality, I'm not gonna criticize. It was okay. It was decent.
Yeah. I mean, Cody's not a
The
bad
grade.
wrestler.
It passes to the next. To the next
Exactly.
grade. It's fine. All good. I think that like Sonic Kids look good, but see, I think that like a lot of guys that Cody's putting over by beating them. You see, that's why I use the quotation, putting over by beating them. At least they give them exposure.
Yeah.
And that's what you get.
Yeah, but all the guys who he's,
nothing. You just get, your 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of what it is, though. We haven't seen Ricky Starks.
Yeah, no, you want to see Ricky Starks?
I'm not watching AEW. If he's on AEW Dark, no.
Watch AEW Dark. Because
that's like saying, oh, you want to see Bianca Belair? Watch, besides this past Monday, watch main event. No, yes. I'm good. No,
like, and that's what I mean. Like, that's not how you really put people over. There's times that like by losing you get over, but not everybody loses. Like I don't know. It just, I know when John Cena did it, it looked great, but now it's not as great as like it could possibly be.
No,
I'm saying like the opponents like Ricky Starks was okay because it was debut. I see Sonic Kids, even the guy from a Private Party. It should be like mid.
And see, I don't know. I feel like you don't need to see Cody wrestle and do this every single week. He could wrestle one week, the next week somebody could come out and be like, hey, I have this many number of wins. I deserve a shot. Cody, next week, you have an open challenge. I'm calling you out. Yeah. Yes,
that would be a lot better and that would be more intense. That would be extremely great. So, like, you're right. So, let's go now, Jean-Paul, to FTR or the Revival. However, it's our show. We call them however we want. We're not going to be like, calling them whatever. So, Lucha Bros against FTR. See, this match disappointed a lot of people. It's not just you and me. It's not just Roper. It's a lot of like all the other like outlets that focuses on professional wrestling. This was not a good match. Maybe
I think it's
glimpses of it, but it was not a good match overall. Tell me.
And I think it's like my boy AJ Styles. I think there was a Styles clash here. You got FTR, which they're completely grounded, old school style. And that's like trying to mix oil with water with the Lucha Bros, high flying, this and that. With their previous match that they, when they tangled up a little bit, they kind of made it work, but that was like an 8-man tag. So it's like, okay. Now this was just 2 teams. And I don't think the styles meshed as well. There were some botches in the beginning. The Lucha Bros looked like they were going to do some like slam, onto each, slam the one onto the FTR. And it was like they didn't know who they wanted to slam. And it was like such a weird spot. And it was like, I don't know. So but then that, like you said, it picked up. It got a little better, but
it was just like the pace overall was kind of like, I don't know, too slow at moments. When it wanted to pick up, it didn't reach the height that they wanted. The speed.
Yeah, and do you think that was the case? It was just the different styles, because that's the only thing I can think of.
Sometimes different styles like match. I just feel that like I don't know if the communication was there. I don't know like if they really like they were given enough time. I don't know if they communicate. Like I said, they communicate well. I just think that like the whole match, it seemed like to me like they were trying to pull teeth out of each other. Like they were trying to execute moves, and it's like, or like it seems like they didn't want to wrestle each other.
That's maybe. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was a dream match, because as I was watching it in the early beginnings of it, I'm like, man, a couple years ago, it's like the Revival. As I'm thinking of them then, it's like going against the Lucha Bros. If you would have told me that, I would have been like, oh, I'd love to see it, but And now you're seeing it, and then it's like, oh, this is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and even like the ending, like it was just like what, like Wilder, I think, or Dash covered like Penta, right?
No, well, he ripped he ripped Phoenix's mask off, because Phoenix he did the 619, he spun through the ropes and he hit this spin kick, and then he went to go do it again, and then that time he ducked it, ripped off the mask. Of course, he covers the face, rolls him up. He wasn't going to kick out, and then everybody sees his face. So he rolls up Phoenix 1, 2, 3.
And that's why Penta was trying to kick him out. That was when like the man was like he was trying to kick him out of the ring. Again, anticlimactic. So like it never reached that. It reminds me of like Nakamura and Styles of WrestleMania.
Like, you're waiting for it. You're like, okay, yeah.
We're gonna have been completely blown away, but it never picked up.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Like two speed. It stayed in like second gear. It never picked up.
Yep.
I don't know why
the closest it picked up was when who I forget whatever their names are, whichever the one he dived out and did a suicide
Oh,
dive.
when like Wilder.
Yeah, when he
When he
dove
did a
out.
suicide dive, yes.
Oh, but it was supposed to be like a suicide DDT, but he didn't really get all of it. Yeah,
and like he did a DDT, that was nice. See, like, and everybody's like, okay, let's pick it up, but like it went down again.
Yeah, then it immediately went into the ripping off the mask, 1, 2, 3, and I mean, I think it was the right winner. FTR can't show up and lose, but you could have done something. I don't know. You could have had maybe the Butcher and the Blade get involved, and it's just a DQ.
Yeah,
I know it would have been bullshit, but at least nobody would have looked weak.
Because, like you said, like the Lucha Bros should not be dropped out.
No,
you know, Lucha Bros to me, like that's the two teams that you should build your division on. You know, on them.
I agree.
And then, but you know, like you can't do that if you cap them loose. Because tell me a meaningful win that the Lucha Bros have had on AEW.
Probably did they win against what was that pay-per-view match they had against the Bucks?
That was like the first pay-per-view. Like I think.
Did they win that ladder match?
Or I think it was the first Double or Nothing. I think that was
the ladder match. Did they win that?
Yeah, they win that.
That's probably it then.
Yeah, but other than that, that was it.
No,
so, you know,
wins on.
That, you know, and they never like the Lucha Bros. They have never been portrayed as like the best tag team in the world.
Like I told you, to me, I'm sorry, SCU, you know, go back to California and do whatever bullshit you got to do there, because I think they were the ones who should have won the tournament when they first had the tag team tournament to crown the champions.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Lucha Bros should have won that, and because they just dropped the ball, and they still haven't been able to recover.
Exactly, and that's the point, and that's why, I mean, there's no really, like, hype for the Lucha Bros anymore. Mm-hmm. Because of course they were in Mexico for COVID, understandable. No reason to criticize that part. But now that they're back, you know, 2 weeks and done again.
Yep.
You know, and done. So like it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make another thing that doesn't make any sense to me is like Lechampion having a microphone, because again, Chris Jericho is being overexposed. For a lot of people that love Chris Jericho, we love Chris Jericho. I'm a big fan of Chris Jericho, but if I see Chris Jericho every single time, even just because the reason of having a microphone is not going to get my attention because he's not a champion anymore. So I just don't find him like interesting. And now like is not interesting. It's not enjoyable. It's not entertaining.
Yeah, he seems like, okay, Jericho, I understand, like we said months ago, we said, you know, you got to do the funny stuff, be lighthearted, you know, get people through these trying times. Okay. That I understand, but then he's on, you know, out here, oh, Orange Cassidy, you're a piece of shit, you're a son of a bitch, you're this and that. Oh, okay, so now we're not lighthearted, we're serious. We want to be, you know, tough. We want to be Lechampion. Okay, legit. But you said overexposed every single week, and it's just stupid stuff that he's doing. You know, you're calling out Jurassic Express, Tyson, you know, now Orange Cassidy. It's like, who is it? He's spreading himself way too thin, overexposed. And now he's completely out of touch with reality, I feel. Oh, we won the demographic. I'm the demo god and all this stuff. To me, the only people who are laughing at that are AEW marks, who do they even have an opinion or a brain? You know, probably not. You know, and Tony Khan. They're the only ones that are like, everyone else is like Jericho. Like, you won. Why don't you should be talking about how you won for how many weeks in a row, instead of just saying, oh, well, these last 3 weeks that we lost, we actually won the demographics.
Yes, or not even acknowledge it, like I said.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing. You should not acknowledge it at all, but if you're going to, at least acknowledge. At least say
something different, yes. And, he called out Orange Cassidy, like you said, like, everybody's asking for a rematch. Supposedly, we're not asking for a rematch. And, like, even he says it's one of the greatest matches of his career. It was a good match, but that's all there is. You know, I don't think that it was, like, anything, you know, remarkable.
Was it Jericho's? Was it the best match of Jericho's career? No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So I don't know why. I don't know why we're talking it all.
You know, like he had Santana and Ortiz. He had Jake Hager. Like you said, if Jake Hager is back, it means that like the accusations were not completely, you know, real. Mm-hmm. So he's back, and like they all had like orange juice, so they were spilling a little bit of orange juice. And like Freshly Squeezed comes out, and like he's pretty much demanding another match. But you know, of course, Freshly Squeezed doesn't talk. So he kind of like took a page of Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he like pretty much had like orange juice like pour all over like the champion and everybody else from the inner circle, kind of like Kurt Angle did with milk and Stone Cold did.
Yeah, instead of the Milkomania, it was like Pulpomania.
It was like
the Orange Mania.
It was Freshly Squeezed Mania. So that at least that's fun. That's entertaining. See that part at least. Hey, and you know, a little bit overdone when like I think it was.
No, it reminded me of like
that like it kept like you know like falling into the orange juice.
No, what it almost reminded me of instead of like Kurt Angle, because he came out, he had like the garden or like the fire hose. It reminded me like the Brood, but with orange juice. Remember the Brood would drop the blood and shit?
The Brood, or like for example when DX did that with like they got shit coming down, or also like if he did it, DX did it on the McMahons because they had also like stopped falling down. So it's been done, so we've seen it, but this is like kind of prolonging. Is making the feud with Orange Cassidy
and see that's the thing.
Jericho a little longer.
And that's the thing. I mean, okay, like it was a draw. Like I said, AEW fans that we all love Jericho, but they're extremely high on Orange Cassidy. I like him, but I think people are bragging him up and going crazy over him and giving him more credit than maybe he's due. But I feel like if we see a rematch, what are we going to see that's any better? It'll be like, oh, this match is the same as the other one, or it's worse. It won't be better. I feel like they had a legit match that they won't be able to top.
The only reason that they can make it better is if Jericho puts over Cassidy.
Oh, that would be the only thing.
That would be the only way.
But is he going to do that? Maybe.
Well, if they have a rematch, for sure they have to do it. Because what's the point of like having Jericho over? And that's
what's the point of the winner of our main event and all these other matches that we?
Well, and like I can tell you, like Jericho is lost. And it sounds so bad, but Jericho is lost because if it's not for the if he's not competing for the AEW championship, what does he have to do? So for me, when he lost that championship to Moxley, he should have left. Like a few months, like don't just leave and then come back and.
But see, they know that he's the biggest draw they have,
and that's why they have to overexpose.
It's not Cody, it's not Moxley, it's not any of the tag teams, it's him.
Yeah, so that's why they have to overexpose the guy, keep him, like just having feuds with everybody else because they lost. They're completely. He is lost in that whole main event scene, and with the results we got today is even worse. But Jean Paul, let's go now to the Elite going against, well, let's say like Kenny Omega came out in the match with like the Lucha Bros and FTR. He came out, he had beer, and what did Dash and Wilder they did, like they pour over.
They dumped the beer on him, and I just want to say,
Omega. So like I think that kind of signifies a little bit of like what a possible heel turn, because we're going to talk about what happened after the match that they had with the Jurassic Express. But Jurassic Express is kind of a promo before the match started, saying like how like you have to be an idiot to have like orange juice pour over all over you and stuff like that. So like Jericho's like, oh my god, like because he went to commentary, like I said, overexposure. So he's talking crap on the Jurassic Express. Luchasaurus, well, I waited 65 million years to fight the Elite. I'm like, really? I'm like, see, that to me is a little like stupid to say.
Not just because it's like, okay, he's a dinosaur, but how could you have waited 65 million years to fight the Elite when the Elite are only in their 30s and 40s?
Yeah,
so only waited that long, so it's like,
don't use those lines, because to me, again, we're not like, if you're gonna keep winning again to the 18 and the 49-year-olds, don't use that type of language, because hey, use that for like 7.
Exactly. Don't insult my intelligence.
Yes, whatever. So they have the match. Match is absolutely great. I really enjoy this, mainly because of like the execution of moves. Like if I wanted to see, let's say, like wrestling, high flying stuff, I got that. The only thing, Marco Stunt, when like he did that move, he did the Hurricane, I think it was on Nick Jackson, and then he was doing the dance, like the 5-second pose. That killed it for me.
Oh, I mean, I said on Marco Stunt, I said it from day one. I'll say it until the day that I stop watching pro wrestling. He has no business in that ring. So,
yeah, a lot of people think like,
if he wants to be the Flavor Flav, yeah, boy, on the outside the whole match, that's fine. In the ring, he has zero believability, zero.
I mean, I won't tell you, like as flips, he's good, but the problem is like he's not believable to pin anybody.
Yeah, exactly. He can do flips, but he weighs, 60, 70, 80 pounds?
He's not even believable enough to be like a cruiserweight or a light.
So when he does, like, let's say a splash off the top or a moonsault or whatever flip, he lands on you, how is that expected to pin you when a guy like Keith Lee size does it and you kick out?
Yes. Yeah, so like,
Keith Lee weighs like 5 Marco Stunt, so how were you supposed to
6.
believe Marco Stunt? Exactly. So to me, zero believability in the ring. But I agree with you.
I feel that, like, for example, like, it's believable a little bit when, it's the Young Bucks, at least, because he kind of same size. But I'm not saying that he wins. I'm saying when Kike does the moves and like it looks good because they're the same kind of like I will say like size again and like in a weight, like it looks even better. The execution is a lot better for me. But of course, in the end, he takes the pin because you're not gonna like job.
To me, the only way to make him
first.
interesting would be if he would have joined the Dark Order.
It will be, or like he turns heel and then he starts like like helping, like you said, the Dark Order, or he starts helping out the Inner Circle. Something unexpected that he can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and
like
he needs to be a guy who comes out to the ring like Raven with a shopping cart. You know what I mean? He needs to have the toys because that's the only like the equalizer. He needs to just beat people up with a bat, toys, because it's like, look at me, dude. Like I'm 4'11", 80 pounds. What the hell am I supposed to do? I gotta use weapons to win. So that's
exactly. It's like I don't have enough, so I gotta like resource to something else to win. So it's true. But in the end, Kenny Omega like that's the B trigger on him. One Wing Angel. Nobody has ever kicked out of the One Wing Angel. Marco Stunt. No chance in hell to kick out of the One Wing Angel, so he wins. And after that, Kenny actually keeps attacking.
Yeah, and I was like, that's legit. And they looked at Kenny, and he was all like all like the crazy-eyed stuff, and I'm like, please go back to the cleaner. Like when he comes out with the sunglasses, the jacket, how he was in Japan when he first got over, because the cleaner is what made him get over. Then when he was over, he had all the matches with Okada, and everybody was whacking, and it's like, this is legit. But the cleaner is what got him over. So that's what he needs to go back to. Being heel and doing that, because this babyface run ain't doing anything. And it's a nice swerve because we all thought Hangman was going to be heel.
Yes.
But if they kind of keep him face
and they turn... something that would get people to watch more. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So
that I actually liked. But
we got a little bit about Hangman Page. He was drinking a few beers. So, hey, with the quality of this show, who would? So Jean-Paul, and then we get something really interesting. The Nightmare Sisters. Ali and Brandy going against Paige and MJ Hankins. She used to be from like NXT, so like now she found another home on AEW. So this match, 2 to 3 seconds?
And can I just say, earlier we talked about AEW Dark, and I don't care. Yeah, okay, of course, the Nightmare Sisters win against the Jobbers. Fantastic job, ladies. But can this match be on AEW Dark, and can we see like maybe the debut of Brian Pillman Jr. on, Fight for the Fallen, or can we maybe see Ricky Stark's match on Fight for the Fallen, or, can you present women that are actually legit? Because I'm sorry, like maybe the two job women are legit. They didn't get a chance to show it. Allie's good, but Brandy, again, same thing with Marco Stunt. Why are you in a ring? I'm sorry, but...
No, but it's true. I mean, she looks okay. She seems decent, but I don't know if she will like actually wrestle on a regular basis.
I think that's why they put her in a tag team, because they know she can't carry it on her own.
Whole match on her own. Yeah, of course. And Ali can, because Ali, we just talked about that in a video that we have on Slammiversary, is in the channel for you guys, against Tessa Blanchard. So what other proof do you need that like Ali can hold her own?
Exactly.
It is and when they win. I don't know what plans they have. I don't know if they're gonna have championships, for the tag team. I don't know if that will be any AEW have that.
Their roster is so little for the women. That would be such a waste.
So we'll see what happens. But like that's what we have. Then we had the announcement from Nyla Rose, big announcement. We had of course like a little bit of a preview from Hikaru Shida. He says Nyla Rose is the #1 contender, but anybody that is like willing, everybody that thinks is ready, no one's ready for Asuka. No, it's Hikaru Shida. Step up to the plate. I'm here waiting. So
I like that, how they send out. That's the one thing I like with AEW is they send out that invitational to people who are not in the company. Like, maybe even somebody like from an NWA can show up. Somebody from Impact, Ring of Honor. I don't know who they all work with or whatever. Maybe even, we know some wrestlers in like the Florida, Jacksonville kind of, that area. Maybe some of them can show up. That would be legit, but who knows what they're going to do. I just, what we said last week, I don't think it should be Nyla Rose again.
Oh, yeah. No,
at least not right now. Wait a couple months and then kind of revisit that feud.
You're right. I don't think it should be Nyla Rose. And talking about her, she finally revealed who her manager was going to be. And that was interesting because a lot of people, even I predicted it was going to be Awesome Kong. I was wrong. So cool. Mm-hmm. I love when I'm wrong because that's what actually wrestling swerves me. And Isaiah Swerve Scott, when they do that, actually get excited. Exactly. And this turned out to be, excuse me! It was turned out to be Vicky Guerrero. So that was cool. I really
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that was legit because WWE they were petty, they got pissed that she was on Jericho's
AEW.
podcast and AEW, so they got rid of her. And it's like, hey, she has name value. The Guerreros are going to be popular as long as wrestling is alive. There's
Yes,
no,
sir.
you say Guerreros, people are going to be like, oh, Eddie, oh, that's legit. So, having Vicky on TV isn't a bad idea. Managing Nyla Rose reminds me all the time, you got like Heyman and Lesnar, people like Jim Cornette, Harley Race, they manage Vader. It makes you think of that, like a manager, kind of leading a monster, to the top of the mountain.
Exactly.
So,
No. Hey, that's what I can say. The same thing, is always good to see Vicky Guerrero. She's always has name value. She grew up in the position. She was general manager. She was a manager. She was there for 5-6 years. Around even that, I would say even more than that. Maybe like 8, 9,
and
closer to 10 years.
exactly.
That she was in WWE, so she knows everything.
Yeah, she can do it. She can do it all in that regard, and also, Nyla Rose isn't the worst on the mic, but Vicky Guerrero is just so much better at getting.
And she can
heat.
help her, winning matches, pulling the ropes. She can pull swerves on that. So we'll see. But it's plausible, and we're looking forward to see Vicky Guerrero. John Paul, what we're not looking forward to is the main event. Because
we were. You got to rephrase that. We were, but now looking back on it, it's like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, we were, but it didn't live to the hype. The hype, even you prolonged this for 2 more weeks because you're supposed to be in Fire Fest. No, it didn't happen. It happened now, and it turned out to be a complete disappointment. The match was terrible.
It reminds me of like we said, WCW in the dying days when it was like, who's booking this show? It's like it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, the match never picked up. It was not good.
Maybe AEW kills all guys who are big and jacked monsters. Maybe they squash all of them as like a haha screw you to Vince McMahon because he only pushes those guys.
Maybe that's how they do it, but in the end,
I mean, I don't think so. I think
Brian Cage. Why you bring, like we said, you bring Brody Lee, okay, he's a WWE guy, whatever, boom. But Brian Cage was supposed to be. Do something different so people can actually bring the eyes on you. You're losing on the ratings, change it. That's how you get.
There was channel
for you.
Like the whole match itself, when it was going on, I mean, I've only seen a handful of Brian Cage matches. I've seen a lot more Moxley matches. Moxley might be a legit character, legit promo, but he's not that great of a wrestler. I put him in the same kind of category with Cody, but a little worse. He's not, the best in the ring, but he's also not the worst in the ring either.
Yeah, no.
Brian Cage is kind of like the similar. He's like a big man. So it was like the whole match. It was like, the Fujiwara arm bar on the injured arm and this and that.
Detacher,
Yeah, exactly. But it was, so it wasn't even that exciting. And then at the end of this thing, he had him in the arm bar as well, right? That's when he
kicked out from the Paradigm Ship. So everybody's, even Jericho's like, oh my God, I couldn't kick out of that. So he's kind of selling that. He's kind of making him, selling him. But then, like you said, then he got the arm bar. And then at the end, Taz looks desperate, and he goes from calling him a piece of shit. He called him Moxley bullshit. The FTW championship. He defends against Graham Pillman Jr. yesterday on AEW Dark. He wins. He has momentum. But all of a sudden, Taz he hesitates, and then he throws the towel.
Yeah, and this isn't an Owen Hart Bret Hart. You're not going to see Brian Cage versus Taz at the next pay-per-view. No, we're not going to see that. So to me, I'm like, why is he throwing in? You could have done 2 scenarios. You could have bashed Moxley over the head with the FTW championship. Ding, ding, ding. Moxley wins by a DQ. Okay, whatever. That's better than Brian Cage losing.
Yes.
It's still a bullshit decision, but it's better than Taz throwing in the towel. Or you could have had what happened after the match when Darby Allin came out. Darby Allin could have came out and just attacked him during the match. Yeah. Which wouldn't have made any sense. But at least, I don't know, what you did made 0 sense either. At least my 2 scenarios have Brian Cage looking a little bit better.
No, that's what I mean. Because, for example, okay, Taz is his manager, but why in the hell, when he throws the towel, the referee has to call it done? When Cage never quits. He never taps.
And then the worst part of it is after the match, he starts beating him down. He no-sells the arm.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Because they're like, he's punching him with the uninjured arm, and commentary even says, oh, he's using that right arm or the left arm, whatever, which one it was, and yeah, that's the good arm. Then he starts punching with the bad arm, and they're like, so he just knows, and it's like, oh.
Darby Allin, like you said, he come out, there was like darkness. I thought it was going to be a new wrestler, so I was like, okay, at least something legit.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, a debut, and then you see Darby Allin in a hoodie.
I'm like, oh, that's
like,
great.
Okay.
That's fantastic. He's like, okay. Yeah, and he beats him with like the skate.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make it, like I said, even it ended on a bad note for me.
I would have had it. I would have had it. The armbar. He picks him up. When they in WWE they do the spot with the armbar and then the power bomb or power slam, whatever you want to call it. Do that, and then Brian Cage could have been setting up for the drill claw or whatever. Like it's done. Then the lights go out. Darby Allin comes in. That would have at least been a little better.
And all I can tell you, Jean-Paul, if this doesn't set up the way for MJF, I don't know what is. Because this was your time.
But let me tell you.
With Brian Cage.
Let me tell you this: who is more believable in the ring? No Wardlow, no whatever. It is just man versus man. Who's more believable in beating Moxley? Jake Hager and Brian Cage or MJF? Like I'm sorry, MJF. I mean, is he a legit promo? Yes. But how is Moxley going to run through these monsters and then lose it to MJF?
That's what I mean. So, like, it doesn't even, like, they don't look for these things. They don't even look for this. And that's the one thing. And now Brian Cage absolutely jobbed out. Because, like,
he's done. He's like Lance Archer.
If you're going to start, in a company, don't go for the main title right away. Because if you lose, you're done.
Lance Archer, put them all in a boat of we're big.
Already.
And we're fucking, and we're dumbasses.
3. Lance Archer, Brody Lee, the Dark Order doesn't even matter. Not even a promo from them. And on top of that now, Brian Cage.
Yeah, let me just say that people always wanted to say that the grass is greener on the other side and all this other stuff, but I don't know. I think NXT is looking pretty good to a lot of these guys right now.
You are absolutely right. I agree with you. So, like, it's just, it's disappointing because we were looking forward to AEW today. It's bad, and that like Io Shirai and Tegan Knox are gonna beat, Brian Cage and Jon Moxley in the ratings. I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying that this has no connotations about women and the men. I'm just saying that they probably put on a better show than this main event that we had.
Yeah, a match that was hyped for 1 week versus a match that was hyped for a month.
And it's probably going to be even better. I'm just saying it. Shirai and Tegan Knox, they probably gave a better show than this. So, Jean-Paul, where they can find people, then we can find us online.
You can find us on social media on Facebook and Instagram, The Original Rope Break, Twitter, The OG Rope Break, right here on YouTube, The Original Rope Break.
Thank you so much, family, for every single thing that you do for us, for all the subscriptions, for all like the comments, for watching the videos. We will be back. Jean-Paul and I will be covering NXT. Keith Lee is going to be addressing the WWE Universe, celebrating his victory, and we're going to be basking in his glory. But we hope that AEW needs to get better. Because the hype is going down, and I think so as the ratings. So, Jean-Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...